Good afternoon, everybody, and we'd like to add our congratulations on to Ken Schrader for a great win this afternoon and to the TNN broadcast team for a great show. Now, there's been a lot of racing this afternoon and a lot more to come. The Kart IndyCar event in Milwaukee was delayed and is in the early laps. At Mid-Ohio, Davy Jones won the IMSA GTU race, and the SCCA Trans Am winner in Dallas today was Irv Hare. The Winston Cup race at Dover, seen live here on TNN, ended just a short time ago. Now let's take a look at the highlights with Mark Allen.
Michael Waltrip had the thrill of his first pole go sour early when an oil pump belt came off and forced him off the track for a number of laps. Front row mate Rusty Wallace was tripped up in the first 100 circuits by a flat tire, which cost him the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt dominated most of the first half of the race, which was fairly incident-free. But just before halfway, a cut tire brought the Goodwrench Chevrolet to the pits and dropped Earnhardt down a lap. Just past mid-race, J.D. McDuffie's crash after contact allowed Earnhardt to line up on the inside for the restart, and he got back on the lead circuit with Mark Martin showing the way. Number 33, Harry Gant, closed on Martin and took the lead, then set his sights on lapping Earnhardt. It took him the better part of 10 minutes, but the Olds driver worked his way clear as Martin began to fade and Ken Schrader moved into second. In the final third of the 500 punishing laps, Chad Little's smoker brought out only the fourth caution, and Gant lost the lead, having to make 3 stops, one for a stop-and-go penalty. He came out in 4th place. Soon after racing resumed, Jimmy Spencer clobbered the wall, and that allowed Earnhardt to get back on the lead lap again. Spencer was okay. Within 100 laps of the finish, defending race champ Derek Cope crunched his Chevy. Within moments of the green flag, Earnhardt moved around Schrader back into the lead for the first time in over 150 laps. But Earnhardt's car was pushing, and Schrader was able to resume the point and inched off to become only the second multiple winner of the season. Earnhardt was 2 seconds back in second, with Gant third, Ernie Irvin fourth, and Mark Martin fifth. This is Mark Allen reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
All right, thank you, Mark. Great show in Dover. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll have short track asphalt motorcycle action and highlights of yesterday's events. This is TNN Motorsports Magazine Afternoon Edition for Sunday, June 2nd, 1991.
They're already collector's items. Do you have yours? Max Race Cards, featuring all your favorite NASCAR stars, the great moments, the men behind the scenes. Great to collect or trade. 1991 sets are here, and when they're gone, there won't be any more. This handsome 240-card set is only $33. For more details or to order, call 1-800-521-8867. That's 1-800-521-8867. Sets are going fast. Order your Max Race Cards now.
No matter what you drive, no matter where you drive it, or under what conditions, you can rely on Champion spark plugs to help your engine run smoother and more efficiently on or off the track. Champion spark plugs. No matter what you drive.
In America, your car doesn't just get you from here to there. It's a part of your life. To give your car complete protection, Texaco is introducing new Haviland Formula 3 motor oil with not one but 3 kinds of protection against heat stress, starting friction, and engine dirt. New Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car.
You wouldn't dream of lying out in the sun all day without some protection. So why would you treat your car that way? Armor All Protectant for the rubber, plastic, and vinyl. No matter how hot it gets, Armor All, it's the original. Hey, we all like to look good, but when the heat is on, treat your car right with Armor All Protectant.
Welcome back to TNN Motorsports Magazine, everybody. Lots of racing action. Let's take a look at yesterday's racing action.
Asphalt is still a new concept for most motorcycle racers, but veterans like Steve Moorhead seem able to adapt to any surface. The Harley-Davidson Privateer easily won his heat race. In the second heat, Rusty Rogers laid his bike down and was sent to the back of the field for the restart. Rogers rallied through the field to take the heat. The third heat was easy work for Series #1 plate holder Will Davis. He was never challenged. That set up what should have been an interesting confrontation in the main. But Moorhead, who is one of AMA's all-time best on short tracks, led from the start, and despite Davis's best effort, never faced a serious threat to win for the second time in 2 asphalt starts.
The pavement series is here, and it's something to come in the future. It just opens up a lot of doors for a lot more racing facilities that we can actually go to and race. So, you know, you got the best Camel Pro Series riders all here competing, and it's great to win anywhere.
Davis held on for second with Dan Ingram third. Pete Halsmer was the pole sitter for the Exxon Supreme Series race on the Mid-Ohio Road Course, but Jeremy Dale in a Nissan got the jump. This was not a good race to be a GTO driver. The Red Roush Mustangs were near the front early, but both retired with engine failure. Number 63 Price Cobb fell far off the pace from an early skirmish. In the late stages, Halsmer had to pit for a left front tire after a tangle with a lapped car. The best race was in the GTU class, where the 07 of John Fergus swapped the early lead with Bob Leitzinger in number 95. But the latter's Nissan fell from the event past mid-race, handing the point back to Fergus, who went on to win class honors. Back in GTO, Dale was the only driver who didn't have trouble and ended up claiming his first series victory by more than a minute.
We were surprised we were so good in qualifying. You know, we put the car in the front row, and I talked to Pete a little bit before the start, and I made my plan, and it worked. You know, I just got the lead at the start, and you know, they were kind of nipping away back there, but you know, I managed to keep them behind me, and it was great.
Pete Halsmer was the only other lead lap finisher. GTU winner John Fergus was third overall, with All-American Challenge Series drivers Dick Dittman and Dick Greer cracking the top 5 for the first time. The ARCA Series was back at Flat Rock after a week's rain delay. Bobby Bowsher and Bob Keselowski formed the front row, and Bowsher took the early lead. On the 15th lap, Keselowski in the black 29 dove under Bowsher and took over the top spot. Keselowski was still out front on the 40th lap when Bill Venturini spun off turn 4 and collected Glenn Sullivan. Neither driver was injured. Keselowski's only problem after the restart was lap traffic, as he seemed to have things well in hand. Bob Strait sent up a smokescreen to bring out another caution, but the problem was not terminal, and he returned to the event. Later, with Keselowski still out front, Easterner Bobby Gerhardt had trouble and stopped in turn 1 just as the leaders came around, but everyone managed to miss him. After racing resumed, Bowsher decided it was time to make his move on Keselowski, and the duo raced side by side for a number of circuits, with Bowsher finally inching ahead. Near the end, Roger Blackstock and Jerry Huffman got into the backstretch wall. This set up a 2-lap green flag shootout to the checkered. In that final sprint, Bowsher held on for his second victory in a row and collected a $1,000 bonus for winning from the pole. Strait came back from his earlier engine problem to finish second. Third was Bob Brevac, with Jerry Churchill fourth, and Keselowski dropped all the way to fifth. This is Mark Allen reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
All right, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Alan Kowicki are just a few of the NASCAR stars who cut their racing teeth on the American Speed Association. There are 3 young men who want to follow in their footsteps, and they call themselves Team Cuz, as in cousin. Larry Newber has their interesting story.
Race drivers, like hockey players and footballers, must be aggressive. As a competitor, youthfulness only complicates this matter. The veterans, who know all the tricks, protect their territory. 3 young ASA drivers have found a solution. They call it Team Cuz.
Once you get in here at the age I'm at 20, and Tim's maybe 22, and Gary's 26, it's more easier for them to talk to than you go up and talk to a Mike Eddy. He's not very talkative, especially talking to a 20-year-old. So I think more or less if us 3 can keep together, we kept a friendship that we could always talk. If we had a problem with a race car, one of us knew something about something that could help us out and made us all faster.
You know, we got 3 of the top new talent in ASA, and we're all together. We're all out for the same thing. You know, we all want to be successful in racing.
Team Cuz, that's their affectionate term for this informal fraternity, and each in his own way has found it rewarding.
You got to be hard on the gas when you come out of the pits. And hard on the gas, hard on the brakes.
The third Cuz, Tim Steele, is
a little cautious, a little more polite.
Really? Interesting. Do you think that's a detriment to your racing in ASA? That you have such a close relationship with two other competitors?
Well, I think it helps a little bit to break up the monotony between everybody. And
I'm a little bit different than Tim. I feel like, you know, the competitiveness between the three of us is enough to make it when we get behind the rear bumper of each other, we want to try harder to get around them, each other.
So you become a little more aggressive, you think?
I think so. You know, to a certain extent. I mean, you know, we're not going to take each other out. I mean, I know we're not going to do that, but we're definitely going to trade some paint.
the Team Cuz trio is a force. Don't let their natures or the comradeship fool you. At the season opening race in Columbus, Ohio, the only factor between them qualifying 1, 2, 3 was a missed slick and trap. They were still 1, 2, 5. And Glenn Allen Jr. took home his first career win. Gary is the most gregarious of the three. Glenn, outstanding in high school football, is the youngest, 20, but the most philosophical. And Tim, definitely the most soft-spoken, yet best describes the Team Cuz approach.
Well, I'm sure we all want to win. We all want to be the champion this year, but there's no way that can happen. I guess that's it.
Hi, I'm Chuck Woolery. I love cars, but I hate grease, just like this greasy engine. But now there's Clear Magic. Just spray it on, hose it off, and grease and grime disappear like magic. You see this grease spot on my shirt, Clear Magic and water, and it's gone. It's non-toxic, it's non-flammable, and it's totally biodegradable. Clear Magic has 1,000 different uses around the house, but don't tell your wife or it'll disappear. Like magic.
Clear Magic. This is Lipton tea time. This is the taste. This is the cool of a satisfied face. This is refreshment that's one of a kind. This is Lipton tea time. So clean, so crisp, the taste sublime. This is Lipton tea time. Lipton.
Bicycling's good for the environment.
Recycling, John.
Yeah, that's good too. Just ask Ace. Recycling's important, but it's no big deal if you know how. Ace has information and products to help you do your part. You know all about cycling, don't you?
No recycling.
A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Due to TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Budweiser 500 Sports Sunday, the regular 5 p.m. showing of Inside Winston Cup Racing will air 1/2 hour later. Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Central on TNN. This week, Nashville Now stars Gary Morris, Joe Bonzel, Steve Warner, Diamond Rio, Butch Baker, William Lee Golden, Ray Price, Farron Young, Charlie Chase, Hoyt Axton, and Lacey J. Dalton. Live this week on Nashville Now.
Welcome back, everybody. I want to remind you we will be back next week at our regular 6:30 time slot and, of course, 11:30 a.m. The IMSA race at Mid-Ohio ended just a short time ago, and Davy Jones in the Jaguar led most of the laps and won, with Wayne Taylor in a Chevy Intrepid second. They were followed by Tom Kendall and Raul Bozell, along with Jeff Brabham. GTP points leader Chip Robinson was 6th, and in SCCA Trans Am race today in Dallas. The top five were all Oldsmobile teammates: Irv Hare, Darren Brassfield, followed by the Chevrolets of Greg Pickett, Jack Baldwin, and Bob Sobey. And after 40 laps in the kart IndyCar event in Milwaukee, Al Unser Jr. has taken the lead from Mario Andretti. Switching now over to motorcycles, Jean-Michel Bayle has a chance to clinch the AMA Camel Supercross Championship in Oklahoma next week. Here's a look at one of the important factors in winning that title.
It's got to be up there around 70 or 80%. It makes it that much easier when you're out front than in the middle of the pack, because when you're middle of the pack, you're with guys that you're not normally with. You don't do the triple jump, you lose your rhythm, you lose your pace.
It's real important under certain conditions. You know, if it's a real muddy race, it's the most important thing. But if you're in a top 3 or top 4 of a race, if you're capable of winning the race, regardless of a top 5 start, you can win the race. I mean, a hole shot definitely helps. It has you an open track, and you know, you can get off to a really good start and have an open track ahead of you.
Hole shot is, you have to win the hole shot more than the guy is, you know, is with you. But it's hard to start always first, because, you know, every time is a different guy. But the best thing is to try to start always in the top 5, so you can win the race every time.
The object of these men's obsession is being the first rider to the first corner. In motorcycle shorthand, it's called getting the hole shot. At the drop of the gate, there's more to getting the jump on a hungry field of riders than just quick reactions. One of the secrets centers around the starter.
You go out to the previous races and you watch the starter. We have a minimum of 5, maximum of 10 before the gate falls, and sometimes you'll usually drop around 5 or 6, but then sometimes you'll drop around 10. He's pretty consistent through the night, so you want to make sure you know for that. And you count yourself down to about 1 or 2, down to 5, and then you just kind of hold it there. You hold the throttle wide open and basically just stare at the gate. Just try not to blink, because usually when you blink, that's when the gate drops.
In the past, hole shot master Damon Bradshaw would watch who he lined up next to.
When I used to be like that, but now I just concentrate on getting the jump on them and getting my elbows in front of their elbows, and I can move them around. You know, they have to do what I have to do if I'm in front of them. You know, I can take them to the left or take them to the right. It just depends on the way I have to set up for the first turn. So it's just a matter of getting the jump and getting your arms in front of everybody else's.
Sometimes there's the coattail effect.
There's a few riders who get really good starts almost every time. You can predict they're going to be a wheel in front of you out of the gate. I like to be a few spots away from them, because it's hard to try to get lined up into the corner if they've got the wheel on you.
Jean-Michel Bayle says one of his secrets occurs before the gate is even dropped.
Yeah, I chose many times the inside because it's more safe for the first turn. So if you have a crash, the crash is always in the outside. So I prefer to start with the inside every time.
Besides wanting to win, it's always desirable to have a little maneuvering room when 20 riders go for the same spot at the same time. This is Mark Allen reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
I think that might be a lot of maneuvering. Coming up in just a few minutes, Joe Mattioli, president of Pocono Raceway, joins us in our studio. Stay with us.
Jim Fox. It's time. Mike Bell. Time.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Nick. Debbie? Huh?
AC Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
You know, they can come out with any technology they want, but this is going to be the future. With the Norelco, I get a very clean, comfortable shave. Because I have rough hands, and if I can feel smooth, then I like it. It's just so easy. You know, it's a 90s type product.
Now, Norelco's patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin.
It's very close, it's very comfortable, and it's clean.
The new Norelco, a new level of closeness and comfort.
When you buy Valvoline motor oil, you get quality, high performance, protection, and now, for a limited time only, great taste. It's Valvoline's 125th birthday, And right now, when you buy 12 quarts of Valvoline and buy 12 cans of any Coca-Cola product, we'll pay for the Coca-Cola product. People who know use Valvoline. With other motor oils, you just won't get the great taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
You wouldn't dream of lying out in the sun all day without some protection. So why would you treat your car that way? Armor All Protectant for the rubber, plastic, and vinyl. No matter how hot it gets, Armor All, it's the original. Hey, we all like to look good, but when the heat is on, treat your car right with Armor All Protectant.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, when you think about great places to go to spend your vacation, if you can tie a NASCAR Winston Cup race into it and you add the beauty of the Pocono Mountains, you've got a place known as Pocono International Raceway, and Joe Mattioli is the president. And Joe, we're glad you come by and spend some time with us. A lot of people don't realize that have never been up to Pocono before just how much of a real vacation spot it is for not just auto racing, but of course everything that goes on up there.
It really is a beautiful place. It's 90 miles from Philadelphia, New York, but you'd think you were out in the middle of the country somewhere. Looking from the racetrack, we're just surrounded by green countryside. There's 2,400 acres of 2,400 square miles of beautiful countryside. There's resorts, attractions, camping, swimming. It's a unique setting for a racetrack, and what we found, a lot of our fans are now merging the trip to the racetrack and making a week or 2 weeks out of it, and then coming back for vacations.
You know, what's really interesting is the fact that, you know, if you drive from Richmond, Virginia, let's say, to Daytona Beach or to Talladega or someplace like that, you know, people sometimes forget that Pocono is really not that far away as far as the race fans in the southeastern U.S. go.
Oh, it's true. It's from Richmond. The travel time from Richmond to Pocono is 6 hours, and that's about the same time to go from Richmond to Charlotte. With the interstate highway system, you can come all the way from Tennessee without going through a major city, all beautiful interstate through the Blue Ridge and Virginia. And it is a lot closer, I think a lot of people think, and I think a lot of people who haven't been there, as far as you can rent cabins in the woods, the honeymoon resorts, there's bed and breakfasts, just cute little country inns, the alpine slide, water skiing, fishing. It just goes on and on. A lot of the teams now are making, especially our second race, the Miller Genuine Draft 500, their vacation trip. And we have a little picnic for the families, and we all have a good time.
You know, Pocono has always been such a great place for NASCAR racing. You guys were one of the first ones to have, you know, in excess, and excuse me if I'm not right here, but in excess of $500,000, or when you were one of the first ones to have one of the biggest purses for NASCAR race up in at your particular racetrack.
That's true.
And a lot of improvements, a lot of different things have been done up there over the past few years as far as physical plant improvements. And you know, I know you're real proud of everything you guys have accomplished.
It's been a long time coming, and we've put back everything back into the facility. I think one of the unique things about Pocono, we have the only ladies' rooms that I know of in the Winston Cup circuit that are carpeted with fresh flowers. Lots of flowers, lots of creature comforts. We started off as a short track back in the late 60s, and I don't think we've lost that short track atmosphere. The track really is run by a group of people. It's a family. My family and the people who have been with us for 20 years. And when we have a race, it's like our neighbors are coming back to see us again. So it's a very warm feeling. It's a business, but it's more than a business. It's a way of life for us.
You know, I've always wanted to say the words, "Gentlemen, start your engines." I mean, I've always wanted to do that, and maybe someday. But you've got a promotion going right now that I find really interesting, especially for the race fans.
Well, normally the command giver of a race would be the president of a corporation, the senator, that type of thing. And we felt it was time to do something for the race fan. I mean, he's really the guy and the gal that makes it all possible. Without that race fan, you can have all the racetracks and all the race cars, and we'll just sit around and look at each other. So what we're going to do, we're going to let a race fan give the command, "Gentlemen, start your engines," in front of God and everybody. And any race fan out there that would like a chance to do this, all they have to do is send a self-addressed stamped envelope up to the racetrack. And this would be for our Champion Spark Plug 500, which is coming up pretty quick on June 16th. And they need to send that in by June 7th, and they're going to win an all-expense paid trip for two, $500 in cash, hotel accommodations, airfare, rental car, and they're going to get up there in front of about 100,000 people and say, gentlemen, start your engines.
All right, we got the name up on the screen right now, so if you got your pencil and paper, everybody at home, now hurry up and write this down, because you can get a shot to go up and get the opportunity to fire the engines at a NASCAR race. But right there was the address. And that sounds like a really, really neat promotion. As far as your second race coming up, Joe, you've had some real good sponsors up there that have really participated in bringing lots and lots of hospitality to the track. The whole business of the racetrack is really an exciting thing. It takes all year long to run, though.
What the sponsors have brought to Pocono, I think, to all race tracks has just been a chance to educate the public as to how great Winston Cup racing really is. Well, I know we've confused some people. Miller used to be on our June race, and they've switched to our July race. And Champion Sparkplug, who's been with us for a long time, stepped up and said they wanted to be name and title sponsor. And they've brought along Champion Battery. We have GMC as official vehicles, Cedar Ridge Motorhomes. And something very exciting is going to happen for the July race. We have Martin Del Rey. He's an Atlantic recording artist, and he's going to be doing a pre-race show before the start of the race. And we're really excited about that. I think it's just giving our fans a little bit more than just to race, a little bit more for their money, and that's what we try to do. If we can give them 20% more than they're expecting, we'd like to do that. One thing we have had to do is we're adding grandstands right as we speak to make sure that when people drive up there on June 16th for the Champion Sparkplug 500, there'll be 5,000 new grandstands seats waiting for them, and they're as tall as our tallest grandstand, so the visibility is going to be excellent. So I don't think anybody's going to come up and be disappointed that they can't get a good seat. And they're still available, and we've got a toll-free number. If somebody wanted to call up, it's 1-800-RACEWAY. And all they have to do is call 1-800-RACEWAY, and they can order tickets right now.
Great. We're never going to change that front stretch. We can always still have 8 or 9 wide going down that front stretch, right? You'll always leave it like that.
Well, you know, when Pocono was designed, there was a lot of debate. 3 turns, it was turned the wrong way from Daytona. The first turn is high bank, the second turn's a little flat, and the third turn's real flat. But that main straightaway is 100 feet long, 3/4 of a mile, or 100 feet wide, 3/4 of a mile long. We get them 5, 6 wide. As a matter of fact, last year we tied Talladega. We had 48 lead changes in a 200-lap race. That means a new leader every 4 laps, 25 different drivers leading.
All right, Joe, thanks for spending some time with us. They'll get at it in just a couple weeks up Pocono. Good luck to you. Hope it's a great race. Folks, we'll have the highlights of today's IndyCar race and Milwaukee Mile in our 8:25 update. That's Eastern. And that's all the time we've got for now. Be sure to join us at 11:30 a.m. Eastern next Sunday when we'll preview the first road race on this year's Winston Cup schedule, and we'll go direct to Ohio before the NHRA Spring Nationals. We'll leave you with more winners of this weekend's event. I'm Pat Patterson. We'll see you later on.
Guest of TNN Motorsports Magazine. Stay at the luxurious Charlotte Guest Quarters Suite Hotel. To make every stay extra special, call 1-800-424-2900. A promotional fee has been paid by Corporate Image. Corporate Image, the official supplier of sportswear for Motorsports Magazine, and with a complete line of items featuring Mark Martin and Bill Elliott. For a catalog or to order by phone, call 1-800-365-5834.
Hi, I'm Bill Anderson. If you got a question for a star, something maybe you've always wanted to ask, well, it'll be your turn to ask the questions on Reach a Star, TNN's live call-in special. During the show, we'll give you the hotline phone number. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call in to Reach a Star. Join me with my special guests, Johnny Paycheck, Lacey J. Dalton, and others for TNN's Reach a Star. It's live Friday on TNN, the Nashville Network.
It's smooth sailing when you know what the weather will be. That's why boaters, beachcombers, and vacationers rely on the Weather Channel. They know that the Boat and Beach Report is a weather forecast geared to their interests. The Boat and Beach Report gives the latest information on water temperatures, wind conditions, and the sunshine outlook. So no matter what short-time activity you plan, turn to the feature that so many boaters and vacationers depend on. The Boat and Beach Report, only on the Weather Channel.
Wednesday evening at 5, it's fast-breaking championship lacrosse action as the best from Long Island's Class A clash on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network, bringing home winning moments.
Gary Morris, Ricky Van Shelton, Nashville Now, Monday.